I was thinking and having a conversation with the True Source a little while back, and it has to do with how we create our lives. And I came up with the concept of who's in charge, also known as who's the boss of your life. So take a moment and look upon your life. What are you proud of? And what do you regret? You know, there are so many things we do in our life that we're proud of. We really don't keep track of them. But boy, I bet we all have a laundry list of all the things we regret. But I'd like to take a moment for each one of you to think about, how do you learn in life? You learn by your successes, but you even learn by your failures. Because, you know, when I was in marketing and sales many years ago, I had this cliche: don't tell me what I'm doing right, I know what I'm doing right. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And the reason I would use that cliche, because if I was successful, which I was, producing millions of dollars in sales, that means I was doing something correct and I was following through. But if I was doing something wrong, even if it was minor, I wanted to know about it, how I could correct it. And then in life, I began to look at my life. And I began to understand that I grow through my mistakes, because I learn what works and doesn't work. And I'd like to share a little story of mine. A friend of mine read a report, I think it was from Rutgers University in New Jersey. And they did research, and they went to nursing homes. And we're talking to all kinds of people from the ages of 60 up to 100. And they asked one key question: what do they regret the most? And they said they regretted worrying about things and afraid to take chances. That's what they regretted the most in their life. And stop to think about it. When it's all over and said and done, and you're going to birth out of your body, are you going to stand there and say, or lay there, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? How much time do we spend being preoccupied with our fears that either will never occur, or they're so insignificant they become a no-thing? Think about all the energy that you take worrying about something. And if we look in our life, look at all the fears and doubts, you wonder, is it worth it? And perhaps we should be aware of the Trito cliche, which is very powerful, and it's best for all of us to remember. Thoughts are things. Whatever you're thinking, you are going to manifest in your life. What we have to remember and not forget is the law of attraction, is that we are constantly, through our thoughts, endlessly creating and recreating our own lives by our thoughts. Thoughts are magnetic, meaning whatever you think about, you will draw into your life to experience. And that's the key word. It's just an experience. That's all it is. And if you look around us, and we see so many friends and families that are stuck in some belief system, some erroneous thoughts that they're not enjoying life. Many people I've worked with are multimillionaires, and they're too worried about hanging on to their money. And others feel they don't have enough money, and they'll never have enough money. And I've used this quote before, but I love it, from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can do a thing, or whether you think you can't do a thing, you're right. Look how powerful our thoughts are. Who is our worst enemy? It's ourselves. How easily we're swayed in our belief system. How easily we succumb out of fear to other person's thoughts. And part of what we want to do when we're hurt is take out retribution. We want to get even. Instead of saying, okay, why is this created in my life? Now, we have all been in a job where we've worked with someone who has a huge ego, who is manipulative, likes to control and manipulate us, or is a bully. In fact, we probably met him in school. And if we look at that person as to realize they are so gosh darn insecure, so frightened of life, that they have to turn around and protect themselves by being aggressive. It's not that you need to forgive them, which you should, but you need to understand them and then ignore them, and not let them get under your skin. Because everyone in our life is a teacher and we are the student. And at times we are the teacher and they are the student. Therefore, where are you in your life right now? What is your greatest fear? What are you insecure about? And what are you afraid of? Fears come in because we're not sure, or we feel insecure, or we have doubt. All of you have had very close friends. Perhaps it's your husband or your wife or your children or just a friend. But no matter what happens, no matter how you're advised, no matter how close they are to you, it's you who makes the final decision. It's you who is creating your life, or giving up the creation of your life by the will of others. I was reading another report that a lot of America and all over the planet, they're so tired of the negativity, of judgmentalness, so tired of it. And this is not a political statement, but there are people that you know that always have to be right. In fact, they'll go down with a ship and die and drown just to prove that they're right, which is a stupid thing to do. The most important thing for you to realize is you don't have to justify your actions for anyone but yourself. Now, I realize you may have a job and they ask you why you did this. And I remember one time I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was buying metals. He worked for a company, and he still does, and he just felt he should buy a lot of copper. And that's what his job, spend millions of dollars on copper. And they were kind of upset. And then 6 months later, the price of copper tripled, and he looked like a hero because he listened to his intuition. He knew whatever he was doing was right, and in his heart he didn't have to justify it. So when you're in your relationship, or you're working for someone, or you're doing something, think about, is it in your best interest? Is it best for you? Do you really love yourself? Do you really want to be in control of your life? And control of your life doesn't mean being manipulative or being selfish, but it means doing the right thing. And it can take on several different hats. For example, if someone is very close and you go out of your way to help them because you know it's the right thing to do, you help them because you're in control of your life. Or perhaps you're in love, or you have a daughter, a wife, husband, a relative, and you choose to help them even though it's inconvenient for you. You do it out of love because you felt in your heart that they needed help, not because you get gratitude, not because you would benefit from it, which you will, by the way, but because you did it out of love. See, by the law of karma, for a reaction, there's a reaction. And therefore, if you give out love and help, you receive love and help. Give out hate, you receive hate. Very simple. It's the law of attraction tied into the law of karma. In some ways, they're very, very similar. But I'd like you to take this week that is coming up and reflect. Reflect upon this as Father's Day. And whether your father was wonderful, great, or disappointed or abandoned you, you wouldn't be here without your father. And granted, you wouldn't be here without your mother. But since we're talking about Father's Day, no matter how awful or awesome your father was, give thanks, for he chose to be an instrument so that his seed would be fertilized with your mother, so that you can incarnate into the fetus and be here at this time. And some of us have had fathers that were zeros, for lack of words, and some of them that were just princely and joyous and happy, whatever it may be. But remember, you chose that person to be your father, and you learned from them, positive and negative. And the negative you learned from them was not to be negative and follow in those footsteps. And the positive you learned from them was to follow in those footsteps. For you see, as I said before, everything that occurs in your life is for a reason, and that is to help you grow. And I'd like, after I'm through with this phone call in a few more minutes, for you to take a look in your life and spend a few moments to think of all the things you've done in your life that are positive. Maybe it's feeding the birds. Maybe it's helping someone cross the street. Maybe it's smiling on someone and say, "You look great." Or just a smile when they walk by and they're grumpy. Or maybe you told them a joke. Whatever it is, whatever you've done, for those moments, you have changed their life. But you also have changed your life because you're doing the work of the true source, or God the true source, by spreading love. Because you're an instrument and an aspect of God the true source. Never forget that. The difference is between you and God the true source is the true source has one frequency, one vibration, one energy. Love. Period. That's it. And the analogy that I want to remind you that I've used before is, if you look at electricity. Electricity is electricity is electricity. That's it. That's all it is. It's electricity. But it varies in its intensity. Like a button battery, a AAA battery, a AA battery, or a C battery, a D battery, a 9-volt battery, or a car battery, or even 120 volts, 240, 480. It still is electricity and a varying intensity. Now, the true source's love is the highest intensity. And it's you who are filtering a part of it or all of it into your life. But since you're an aspect of it and part of it, you are love. That's your essence. And as you look at your life and look at all the negative things you've done, call them challenges instead of negativity, learn and grow, and the positive things that you've done in your life, and then ask for true inner source guidance, to take risks, to take a chance in life, to make changes in life, because that's what you're here for. Because as I said before, as you change your life more positively, you affect 3 generations in the past, 3 generations in the future. Because you chose that family who in 3 generations had the same challenges you are facing now. And you're releasing their karma because you've chose to take some of that on to grow from past lives and to help them in this lifetime and past lifetime. And also yourself. And since you are the teacher, for your children and your children's children and your children's children's children. As you change them, they will change their children, and so on and so forth. That's how powerful your life is. That's how grand you are. And that's your purpose in life. Not only to heal the karma and change to positive karma, but also to work on your own karma. So spend a few minutes giving thanks for everything you've experienced in your life, and think about your fathers, no matter whether you feel they were positive or negative, and just thank them and send love.